back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back towards we're back.
Players Unknown Battlegrounds Southeast Asia Championship 2018, brought to you by
Players Unknown Battlegrounds
Republic
Southeast
of Asia
Gamers, and of
Championship
course
2018,
production
brought
done
to you
here
by
for the Malaysian side,
Republic
for the
of
English
Gamers,
broadcast
and
done
of
by MET, and of course you can check us out on Nemo TV as well.
Nemo TV indeed, and then also on the other platform we are streaming live on Twitch as well, MET_esports if you guys want to catch the action in HD, Astro as well, and also MET Malaysia Facebook and Asus ROG Malaysia Facebook as well.
So what do you guys do? You go over to their Facebooks, you go over to the platforms, make sure to like it, make sure to watch it, because we are going to be delivering to you some of the best casting that we can muster up, and of course quality memes for each and every one of you guys at home who are really good with clipping stuff. Anyway, I'm the Hound, just so you guys know, and of course this is Jin, and let's recap game number 1.
Right.
So it was a it was a Filipino affair,
right,
for the last circle between two Filipino teams of TNC and Dogs, and it was Dogs that came out on top. Mad Dog, living up to his name, being a mad dog, managing to kill 2 against 1, basically, with just patience and stellar positioning. So what are your thoughts on that, and how do you feel that other teams should adjust heading into game number 2? Remember, it is TPP for Erangel right now.
TPP for Erangel indeed coming in the second match, and we did talk a little bit about this before the break, is that TNC may have been a little bit too rushy at the end of the circle, where they actually pushed out towards Mad Dog there.
Yes.
Mad Dog getting the kill of both LVB and also the other member of TNC, securing the first chicken dinner for Team Dogs there. But also we were mentioning before the break that you were asking something more on how the teams will have to come into the second game and how they will actually play. Is that we are finished with the first game. Teams have pretty much a rough idea on how other teams play as well. We will be looking at teams like MSK Poseidon stepping up their game, of course Lapar Esports. Not forgetting from Vietnam, we have Divine Esports, who has been proving very strong in the scrims before the tournament, and of course from Thailand, MIF PUBG as well of Logitech. So we're gonna look at all these teams coming in, how they actually play out in the second game.
We do see that there isn't that much of a discrepancy in terms of meta. Everyone's playing in a very competitive style, which I can feel can be a bit counterintuitive towards players who thrive in a public setting, in my opinion. We do see that most of the Malaysian teams are starting to suffer a little bit in terms of adjusting towards this meta that is kind of new to them, because whenever you play within a certain region like Malaysia and Singapore, Indonesia, Thailand, for example, right, you're a little bit more used towards this kind of style. You're a little bit used to this kind of meta that is prevalent within the region. So whenever you start to play against other regions, what kind of adjustments do you have to make as a team going into hostile territory, basically?
Also, I think that all these teams, like I mentioned before, they have to play what they're good at. You don't have to pull off fancy plays during the competitive scene and kind of stuff. Of course, there is a pressure coming in for them.
Definitely.
But again, I mentioned, if teams actually just play out what they have been practicing, it's like football. You practice your free kicks, your corner kicks, your set pieces. That is what you are bringing into the competitive game. Just play what you are comfortable with and hope for the best, I guess. Because we don't want to see teams trying out too much of a fancy play, something that they are not comfortable at. I mean, they may be doing it in the public match kind of stuff, but of course competitive gaming is a little bit more higher than that.
Definitely.
So they have to take it slow. Just monitor. So like I said, the first game has already ended. They are pretty much aware of how some of the teams play, whether is it more aggressive, more passive. That's how they actually adjust towards all this team. And how they play as well.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I do feel that Vietnam didn't get that much of that much of a chance to actually highlight the skill. I've heard quite a bit about Vietnam and the Vietnamese team. However, we didn't get to see much of their touted skill as they were saying, right? So I'm thinking that as the game progresses, we're going to see more of these teams actually show up. The Indonesian teams as well, they were a little bit in a disarray coming in for the early games. So I do feel that Indonesia has to pick up a little bit if they want to stay relevant within the tournament. So the standings are going to be not that much into a mess that much. We do see that it's going to be mostly mostly dominated by the Filipino teams. But yet again, we haven't even taken kills into account yet. So that could actually make the standings very interesting in terms of where teams are placed. Because as much as we want to put in our own speculation of which team is going to say go out on top, RNG definitely plays a huge factor in where a team drops, what kind of loot that they get, what kind of playstyle that they're going to have to at least adopt for the first few minutes of the game at least.
Yep, definitely. So that was Miramar. So now when we go into Erangel, it's going to be a whole different set play. Okay?
Definitely.
Teams will be looking at where teams actually land. Will they be going for more of the Rozok play, the Pochinki play, or even a Milsa power play? We as well, we will find out. We will see where teams actually land. And then we can sort of do like a quick analysis on how the game is going to be turning out and what is going to be expected for the next few games coming out after that as well.
Yeah, before the break, we were talking a little bit about the Filipino teams, how different they play comparatively to the Malaysian and Singaporean teams. I do feel that Filipinos are a little bit more calculated in when they become aggressive, whereas the Malaysian teams and Singaporean teams, they tend to force certain situations into their favor. Do you feel that that can be counterintuitive for the Malaysian and Singaporean teams?
I think it's a little bit of a yes and no kind of situation.
All right, please elaborate. Then.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I have been mentioning this over and over again. That is their play style. You know, you don't want to play their game. You want to play your game. Right?
Definitely.
Don't play their game because you then will fall back. Right? Just play your game, come into this team because we know every region have their different play styles.
Definitely.
Every region we do see Singapore and Malaysia, even Singapore and Malaysia has very different play styles, although we are very close by to each other. So now when we have teams from Vietnam, Philippines, Indonesia, Thailand in this tournament as well, in this high stakes tournament, we're going to see very different play styles.
Definitely.
So we're not going to be able to sort of like critique much as of yet. Maybe after the third game.
Maybe
after the third game, then we can probably see the pattern of some of the teams and how they actually play.
Yeah, I mean to actually say that the trends are starting to pop up in game number 1 would be a little bit unfair because that can be isolated incidents, right?
Right.
But we do see that in terms of breaching, in terms of going into buildings, right? I do feel that some of these teams actually have a little bit of lackluster sieging potential. But enough about that. Let's take a look at the scores and let's get updated with which team is at the top. So let's go. No surprise there, Dogs, TNC, and Real by Poke Esports now. On the top 3. Refund Gaming not too far behind as well as Demonic Armory. Lapar Gaming in 7th place. It seems like a very familiar number for them coming from even the Malaysian and Singaporean grand finals. So could Lapar Gaming actually still stay relevant? They did get some decent kill points here. So I'm thinking that they do have the potential to actually come back up into the game.
So from the total points that we are looking at, of course, Dogs is the highest kill and they actually secured close to 700 points. Lapar Gaming not far behind the top, the 4th, 5th, 6th place as well. So they might be able to catch up on that as well.
Right, so next up in the total standings now, 11th to 20th place. We do see a little bit of mixture. MSK Poseidon, 14th place. Now this is a very interesting turn of events. Poseidon was one of the teams that consistently stayed in the top 3 brackets, coming in from the Singapore and Malaysian finals of the Southeast Asian Championship. So we do see that there could be a very wild card kind of standings where you don't want to place your bets in the top 5 teams because that can change over an instant. We've seen it happen over and over again leading up to this point. So what are your thoughts on this? Do you feel like some of these teams should be higher up on the list? Do you feel like some of these teams should be lower? Share your thoughts, please.
I believe teams such as Giga Marines, Logitech G Host, even MSK Poseidon, all these teams are definitely worthy of being on top of the leaderboard in the top 10 as well. So we're going to see how they actually play out this round. And of course, we are looking at one team that will represent the Southeast Asia region to the PUBG Global Invitationals. For today and tomorrow, we are looking at a 100,000 USD prize pool. So the prizes go all the way to the top 12 teams. So I mean, if you're coming into the tournament with the mindset of just bringing home cash, you have to fight for the top 12 team spot.
I mean, come on, I got bills to pay and I got a wife to feed, so we all want a slice of that chunk of money. So aside from that, let's just talk a little bit about how different these teams are and what kind of experiences that they bring in. So do you feel that Lapar Gaming isn't exactly one of those like professional organizations, right? Compared to like Gigabyte Marines, MSK Poseidon, where they have like Like we were talking about Geek Fam previously in the
Right.
previous thing, they had their own training coach, they have their own
Boot camp
land
house,
training, land training, and so on and so forth. Do you feel that that is an overrated way of training, or do you feel like people are just training different now? Is it not just training hard and training smart anymore? You just gotta work with what you have. What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's more on working on what you have, right? So we do know. I mean, we are not trying to be biased to Lapar Esports or whatever. It's just that because maybe we know Lapar Esports more in depth.
Yes.
Compared to the other teams, Lapar Esports, they actually play all from the cyber cafe, from the LAN cafe.
Yeah.
They don't really have like their own computers and kind of stuff. They all train in a cyber cafe together, as well as I believe Red Sea as well. They do that as well sometimes. But yeah, I think it's more on the synergy that the teammates bring into the team,
Yes.
the individuals' synergy to the team. Because again, this is a squad game. It's a lot about teamwork. It's not just about, okay, I have the highest ranking in Southeast Asia leaderboards in solos kind of stuff. So this is a very different game that we're talking at. It's PUBG is going to be very heavily relying on all four members of the team as well.
Yeah, okay, I've been told that we're going to go on a short little break as the teams are going to get ready and they're going to get on standby before we get into the game. So why don't you guys kick back, relax, hang up your feet, get yourself a nice drink, and we will see you in a bit. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, to Play Unknown's Battlegrounds Southeast Asia Championship, brought to you by Republic of Gamers and Intel. I'm the Hound. This is Gamer Jin, Mr. Jin, the real Jin guy. Please stand up. Oh, don't stand up. Don't stand up. Don't stand up. Okay. Anyway, okay. Let's talk a little bit about the game. Game number 1. We're gonna go into game number 2, Erangel. So, do you feel that the same kind of strategies can apply in Miramar onto Erangel?
No.
All right. Why is that?
Because of course every map you have a different play style, and coming into Erangel, this is a TPP mode once again. Okay, and then this will be the last TPP mode. The next 4 matches after that will be all in FPP. So why I say it's different, why I say no, is because of the terrain that we are looking at. It's very different from Miramar. Erangel provides you with more, I would say, more of a flat ground play style kind of stuff.
I do also have to say that for Erangel compared to Miramar, less verticality, right?
Less verticality, more houses to play around with compared to what we have in Miramar, because Miramar is more, we are more relying on the terrains. We are looking at more terrains, but whereas Erangel, we have more houses, more flat ground kind of stuff, where you can have players all the way out in Stalber, looking all the way at Pochinki kind of stuff. So we're going to see very different play styles. You're going to see how players actually move and rotate around the map, go into the play zones, getting the houses, getting the compounds as well. We're going to see how these teams from all over Southeast Asia will be playing it out.
I'm really excited to see what what Southeast Asia has to offer in terms of what team is going to go to represent our region at the Global Invitationals, and I really can't wait. It seems that for game number 1, Philippines seems to be the strongest candidate to fill up those shoes. However, anything can change within the blink of an eye, within the snap of a finger.
Right.
So we would like to know what kind of interesting stuff that we're going to go. And here's a short little highlight of what happened just now.
Right. So we are looking at Myth, where they actually pushed into Baki with a Uzi there. So Baki will go down. And of course the care package is highlight there. Very nice snipe there. I believe he took out 2 guys there meanwhile.
Alright, Myth now with a nice mid-range spray with that 3 scope. Really good stuff. With that 6 scope, excuse me.
Yep. So yeah, so this is about the start of the game, early on in the game, where we are breaching to 15 minutes mark. We do see teams, they start to rotate around to start to get into the play zone. Yeah, and then we actually eventually saw a lot of the Thailand teams taking out each other, leaving more on the Philippine side into the last circle.
Now, as we see here, very aggressive plays being shown here. Myth conquering the majority of the highlight reel here. Minoru with his third. And this was one of my personal favorites here for the Indonesian team, despite the fact that they were wiped out by the Thais.
Right.
And this was one of the more interesting ones by Believes there. A grenade throws into his Indonesian counterparts, and it was a rain of grenades that took them down. Good positioning and just overall good aim here, but Believes got taken down way too quickly. So we do see that Logitech does have a very interesting way of moving, but oh man, look at that tap.
Yep. So Chico, we don't really get to see Chico on the highlight reel here, where he actually managed to take out the whole team by himself with a nade as well. Then towards the end of the circle, this is the 5th play zone, where we see teams will actually start to move into more of a terrain-heavy kind of map area now. And yeah, so this is where basically all the Thai teams went up against each other with the one team left.
Yeah, Myth was really unexpected in terms of they weren't able to solidify their placing towards the top 10s, excuse me, top 5s. So we do see that the Thai teams are really aggressive with some of their mid-range fights here.
Yeah. And also, just to point out, a lot of these Thai teams, they tend to go, how do I say, like they secure their kills, their knockdowns. They secure the kills to ensure the points there. Whereas sometimes back we saw in the qualifiers where teams, when they actually knock out, they don't really go for the kill, the secure kill yet. They tend to leave it there to see whether the teammates actually come back for the revive and then capitalize on that to get more kills. So a little bit more different play style there coming from Thailand team, teams. And of course this is the end here where Mad Dog was going up against 2 guys from T and C without a helmet as well, just to point out that. Then of course the animation kicks in where he managed to crouch out, stands up faster than Jawi. Jawi not going to be able to ADS quickly enough, where Mad Dog just capitalized that on the quick scope there.
Very good reactions being shown by Mad Dog. Just knew the limitations of his animation. He just knew that by the end of his animation, he'll be able to get up first and will be able to aim down the sights. So it's not just only whether you're good with your aim, whether you're good with your movement and positioning. It's also like how much you understand in terms of animation, what you can and cannot do during a certain animation, or how long it takes for you to go from prone to standing.
Right.
It actually plays a big factor, and you got to know all these little things if you want to actually take your game to the next level. Now, we did talk a little bit about Lapra Gaming and them not being like, no offense, not we're trying to say that, but not being like a major esports organization. I mean, they're just a group of fans that got together and they just trade together as Cyber Cafe. So looking at some of the other teams like MSK and all that, they might actually have like coaching staff or people that are actually on the outside looking in to help them improve. Do you feel that teams really need that?
I think yes and no. Maybe towards the later stage when they actually proven themselves to be actually doing quite well on their own, then that's when the coach steps in to actually up their game. Where for teams like Lapar Esports, Red Sea as well, they don't really have a coach as of yet. But if they can prove themselves to be worthy of a coach or even like a bootcamp house from sponsors and brands kind of stuff in Malaysia, then maybe we'll see how they can be taken up to the next level by the coach or by the analysis kind of stuff. It's very similar to all the other esports titles like MOBA as well. We see the MOBA titles, pretty much most of the professional teams, they actually have a coach or analysis to actually talk to them what went wrong, what they should have done kind of stuff. So right now we're just looking at these Malaysian teams, hardcore PUBG players, hardcore PUBG fans. They watch streams around the world just to try to pick up and learn strategies and how actually all these pros play, and then try to adapt it to their own play style kind of stuff.
Yeah, I do realize that a lot of these teams are actually paying off a lot of dividends here in terms of their training and so on and so forth. We do see teams like Gigabyte Marines who have who are an organization that has teams from multiple titles, training staff, and so on and so forth, not actually delivering in terms of the quality of training that they have actually gotten. So sometimes because the RNG factor, and sometimes synergy is so important. Sometimes things like this, not to say don't really matter, but may only affect your overall game style and play style only very marginally. So, so we do see that some teams may struggle with different meta. Some teams may actually have a little bit of fear actually going up against teams that have this impression that, oh, we know they're a professional team, they're an organized team, they've got sponsors, they've got people behind them supporting them in terms of their training and so on and so forth. So sometimes it could be a psychological factor that can actually affect a lot of these teams that are not exact organizations to be exact organizations.
Yes, and also coming into Thailand, a foreign land for most of these teams from Vietnam, Indonesia, Philippines, even Malaysia and Singapore. They're coming into Thailand, a big stage there as we see here on the screen. Very nice setup there by the teams. Props to the teams over there for having this stage set up for all these players. PUBG relatively new to the competitive scene, about a year plus in its phase. So we are looking at a lot of changes. We have talked about the SMG patch. We have talked about how this whole patch actually affect the weapon choices of some of these players, the buffs, the nerfs of the frag grenades, the stun grenades, the M24 being a normal drop now. Speaking of M24, we didn't really see anybody getting the M24 in the past match.
I think, now, don't get me wrong, I prefer, like, even if the M24 is definitely a stronger weapon than the Kar 98, I mean, let's just assume that it is, right? It is definitely that, but when we assume that, alright, fine, yes, M24 is definitely the better weapon, but why are people still opting out for the Kar 98? Maybe it's because they don't see the much of the M24.
Of course, so currently the drop rate is much higher than the M24.
Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing that I want to pick apart, though. There are some teams that actually skip out on the M24 to pick out the Kar 98. Maybe it's because they're a little bit more used to the Kar 98. Maybe. What are your thoughts on that? Because I did see some teams actually not opt for the M24. Maybe it's because of the subject of familiarity. They're a little bit more used to the Kar 98, the bullet drop, so on and so forth.
I don't think so. It's that kind of case though. I think it's more on, okay, maybe yes, preference to some of the players, like maybe this team, the snipers, they are working around kind of better than the M24, but oh my god, Chico now with the cheeky smile, the signature smile, to his fans back home in Malaysia. I'm pretty sure the Thai viewers and the fans there are also liking how Chico is bringing himself out into the tournament. Just hiding his nervous and his
I guess
fear behind that smile there.
I guess Chico, we did manage to talk a little bit when we were hosting the PUBG Southeast Asia Championship for the Malaysia and Singapore back in Battle Arena. We did manage to talk. Very down to earth guy, very crazy guy as well. You know, like
nice
fun loving guy. I asked him, you know, what's the experience been like, and he's just like, oh, we're just here to have fun.
Right, so that is one of the things that do or die for some of these teams. If you're coming into, I mean, of course you want to win the tournament, but you know, if you come in with a more relaxed, we're just here to have fun.
Yeah.
These kind of things, these kind of factors may actually determine whether do they win or lose. So PUBG, we all know the game. It relies a little bit more on RNG as well when it comes to the play zone, the weapon drops, the loots as well. So yeah, once you have fun in this game, I'm pretty sure you can go a little bit more further in the leaderboards as well. So Lapar Gaming just showing how it's done. They finished off 7. Chico very patient there in the reach that we saw in the earlier game. So just a little set, just to go back on the M24 current discussion. Why the M24 is much stronger and why is it more of a choice to some of the players, besides the whole fact that players are more familiar with the K9, which I agree, because the M24 has been always in the loot crate for players, and not a lot of players go for the loot crate, but the M24 it provides more on the reload time, the bullet time, the bullet travel speed, the bullet drop is lesser than Kar 98. Of course, it's louder, but that doesn't really play a factor because Kar 98 is as loud as well.
Yes, exactly.
It's just that there's not much difference on in terms of the sound wise, the decibels that is made by these guns. But in terms of the reload animation, how much bullets can it hold, kind of stuff, I would say the M24 pretty much has it higher. The advantage there is higher compared to the Kar 98 because you reload it by a cartridge, not by a single bullet by itself.
Definitely.
So a lot of the pro players that I've been speaking to, they all prefer the M24, no doubt. Of course, the AWM, some players would opt for the M24 compared to the AWM.
Yeah.
Because the AWM, you have very limited ammunition. So.
Definitely. AWM definitely is one of the stronger sniper rifles that are available, but due to, you know, just limited availability,
right,
because it's only available in the loot drop, and the ammo only drops with the loot drop as well. So it puts you in a position where you have to really count your shots.
Correct.
And you don't want to end up like Jingu. You know, not many people can
right,
actually have that dream of that one bullet, one dream meme that happened for Jingu in the first game of the PUBG Southeast Asia Championship for Malaysia and Singapore. So we do see that some of the members are loading in, if I'm not mistaken. So here's one thing that I want to talk about here. We were talking a lot about snipers. We were talking a lot about like Kar 98 and M24. But what about the ARs? What about the SMGs? We do see that UMPs are definitely one of the more common pickups here. Is that mainly because of pickup? Is it mainly because of loot percentages, or is it mainly because that just the UMPs is better than everything else?
Okay, so just to burst your bubble a little bit, the Vector is the top choice for the SMG category.
Right.
Reason being because the Vector has a much higher
rate of fire,
and also the spawn rate for the Vector has also been buffed in patch 14 compared to all the other SMGs. And the UMP coming into close quarter combat wise, the UMP puts out a lot of damage compared to the Uzi, compared to the UMP kind of stuff. So, but the downside of the Vector is that the cartridge is small. You have only 25 bullets to work with the extended mag, whereas the UMP you have the 40 bullets magazine. So it really depends on how players actually control whether the players are actually proficient in the Vector or the UMP in terms of the spray control. Because if you hit all your bullets, the Vector will definitely win. Definitely the Vector will win, and the UMP will lose out in a close quarter range combat.
I think in terms of damage as well, aside from fire rate, the output for a Vector I think is one of the highest for the SMGs.
It's about the same. It's not much of a difference, probably like a 1-2 damage difference thingy throughout the whole UMP range as well.
But if you factor in the fire rate as well, I'm pretty sure that the multiplier will definitely be there.
The multiplier is there. So, but if you're talking about a single bullet damage, the difference is not big. It's about 1-2 damage kind of stuff. Papa Zaid there, just giving some eyebrows to Lewis.
Yeah, Papa Zaid with the Malaysian flag on his chest, a very serious man. most of Red Sea, very serious face.
Right. So in terms of AR wise, a lot of players are now going for the AK compared to the Scar or the M4. Although the Scar is proving to be a very strong option away from the M16 or the M4, but the AK, because why, the patch, they did not change much on the recoil or the damage of the AK or the Groza, but they actually nerfed the damage on the ARs, the 5.56 ARs, but at the same time they actually increased the recoil on this 5.56 ARs, so it puts the spray control on the AK and the M4 or the Scar almost the same, but if you look at damage, the AK has higher damage, so that's why players are going more on the Scar or the AK choice as well.
Alright, so if you just joined us, this is the Republic of Gamers Player Unknown Battlegrounds Southeast Asia Championship 2018. This is now Erangel, third person perspective. 20 teams, 80 players for that global invitational spot. And we're going to see right now teams are going to be dropping over Sosnovka Island here. And this is going to be very interesting. A majority of the teams now dropping onto Sosnovka. We do see that other teams as well are going to be very fragmented here. Flight path indicates that it's going to bisect the entire island diagonally,
Right.
so we might actually see convergence towards the middle side here.
Right, so now this is the first map for Erangel of the day. We're going to see how the teams actually play out, where these teams are actually going. We are looking at a lot of teams going towards the left side instead of the right side. We are seeing teams going to the Gatka side, South George side, and we do see teams going to Milta as well. So in military base, there is only one team, G, taking that military base loots there. So Myth here going for the north side of Rozok, whereas there is a team from Philippines. So they might be going up against each other very, very soon right after they loot.
So now as we move here, we do see Real is actually going towards the mosque. And that is a very isolated area in terms of where they are on the map compared to everyone else. And I think the team that's just most probably going to benefit the most is most probably the Logitech TG host team.
Right.
Just because that they just, I mean, look at it. I mean, military base is so packed with weaponry, it's so packed with buildings. I mean, you're bound to get some really good weapons and really good ammunition. So it could actually give them a very strong mid game, especially with the fact that the circle is hugging towards the bottom side, towards the southeast side of the map. So we do see that teams that are on the top side of the map are going to have a lot of problems as they move down into that hostile area.
Yep, so early on we do see the circle going to the southeast side of the map. Oh, what a shot
Minion
there!
Sky.
Minion Sky, the headshot on Josh. Josh will go out of the game very early into the game. MSK Poseidon losing out one of the top team members, MSK Josh there. So circle is going to be favor for teams landed in military base, Milta, Novo as well, whereas teams that has been they actually landed in Georgiopol, they will have to make their way down. Jingu gets knocked out and taken out of the game as well. So MSK Poseidon not looking very good into the game of Erangel here.
Tan Trung with a very nice shotgun shot, surgical with his shots right onto Jingu.
Oh.
Jingu goes down, but Allens from Gang FTY now getting the kill onto Adrian.
Yep, Allen's there with the Vector, getting the initial knockdown and finishing him off with the M16. Gonna be putting Gang FTY there with a 1 kill lead. So early on in the game, we do see a lot of teams looting up against to the left side, like I said. They will have to start making their way down southeast of the map. They will have to go through a lot of terrain. They will go through Milta. They will eventually go through Rozo and Pochinki as well to get into the play zone.
Well, we do see that a lot of these teams now moving out. Unicorns not too far off. Dogs, the previous members, do have a little bit of real estate that they can work with here. Look at how Mad Dog is just so far off from the rest of his team. Milta Power could actually be an option for them to go to, but TCN is not too far behind as well, so they might actually meet up with TCN as they're going to mobilize across the bridge here. Divine now looking towards getting across the grid, and Gigabyte Marines and Logitech might actually fight it off here.
Yep, look at the bottom right side of the map towards Novo. We are looking at 3 teams nearby each other, so they will be putting out a fight really soon. Meanwhile, the North George side, we do see Lapar Esports there. Gang is gonna be at 70, so they will have to start making their way down south in a very short term 2 minutes there to go for the blue zone to start closing in. Of course, this is the first blue zone. It's a little bit slower than all the other blue zones. So they're going to be starting to look out for the vehicles and all that. They go run the multiple vehicle strat that they always do.
All right, now Sherlock now looking towards getting the AK now. I do agree with you, Jin, in the fact that if you got a choice of weapons, you always want to go with the AK just because of its reliability. And yeah, I mean the AK can be a bit of a potato sprayer in terms of what's it called?
Recoil?
In terms of recoil, yes.
Yeah.
In terms of recoil, but if you master the ins and outs of how an AKM rifle works, basically in game, and you're able to basically get some really good shots in, you're gonna realize that nine times out of 10, if you are an AK god and you're going up with an AR, like another AR like an M16
Right.
or maybe like a Scar L, you might actually be able to win it just because of the high damage output. However, with the 5.56, despite the fact that they do get nerfed, they still are able to dish out a quality amount of damage per bullet and per spray. So we do feel that for the side of the teams, we do think that some of these guys, when they fight, they always want to have that weapon that has the best damage output and the best ability to control. So if you're good with the Scar L and you're able to basically get if you're good with the Scar L and you're basically able to get that good with the Scar L in terms of an AK, then you're gonna feel the dividends of it. Most medium range, close range fights will be able to win in your favor only if you know how to control that recoil pattern.
Correct. Yep. So meanwhile, we do see Jet here from Divine Esports taking out RRQ Minions guy from Indonesia. He has that shotgun here. So Divine here with the M4, gonna be taking out Minions guy.
Alright, so
two
some shots here coming in from Jet.
Two guys from RRQ will go out of the game. Still 20 teams left, 75 alive. No teams out of the game yet. Oh, US they're on fire. I believe they got sprayed down there by a team from Indonesia here. It's Raw Gaming.
Raw Gaming, yeah, Raw Gaming now keeping it hot with some really good fights here. Alright, so like I said beforehand, we do see that the bottom side of the map right now is going to be populated. Lapar Gaming enjoying their alone time over at Georgia Pole, across Georgia Pole, if I'm not mistaken.
The north side of George, yeah.
Yeah, the north side of Georgia Pole. So lots of loot for them to pick up, as well as they have 2 cars. I think at least 2 cars in their favor. So we could actually see Lapar Gaming actually secure themselves a higher spot here if they're careful. Oh, Divine.
Divine gonna try to spray down.
Spray, but are not able to let up here. So Levis has got to find their way out. Buggy in his favor here will be able to drive off into the sunset.
Right. So we're going to see whether teams actually decide to go straight into military base island via the bridge, or they will take the boat into it. So Minoru dropping very low here. Going to be facing a team from Vienna. JJ Low takes out Minoru. JJ Low is going to be finishing him off, securing the kills there. Minoru just stuck in a sticky situation there, surrounded by teams coming from Divine Esports now. So like I said, we're going to see how teams actually move into military island, whether is it via the bridge or the boat, or even make a stream across it.
Well, like I said before, swimming, you don't want to ever do that, especially in PUBG, just because of how exposed you are. Oh, Pochiki House now getting hit hard, getting shot hard. JJ Leo with the 6x, and it lands accordingly on to Boonmings. Boonmings out of the game.
Boonmings will be eliminated there by JJ Leo. So teams will start to move into military island, where we do see MSK Poseidon actually holding up the bridge there pretty well. Maybe they will be able to take down teams that will be coming in from the mainland as well.
All right, so some really interesting kills here. We do see the circle beginning to close up here as teams are now moving in. I do like the fact that Master Satan and Zenith now are moving towards the circle in their cars. So this is going to be very interesting for them. They might actually be able to actually capitalize on this and try their best to hold on to a position. Refund now with Neo riding on a bike here.
Right, they will be taking out another team member from Divine Esports, also from Vietnam. So Clash of the Countries as well. The top teams from each countries are playing here to secure the 1 spot into the PUBG Global Invitationals at Berlin next month. Unicorns, Luvius here. Gonna be trying to park the Dacia. Is gonna try to do a 3-pointer to hide the vehicle. Very good strike here coming out from this team Unicorns here. Not gonna be able to give out any information to the teams that are passing by the compound to actually scout out whether the compound is taken or not. So it's gonna be using it as a bait to see whether players do actually come into the compound, and then they will take the kill from there.
All right, so we do see that fire is coming in for the Thai team here. Wow, look at that. Logitech G host now holding on to high ground, making sure that every exit is covered and they have their own getaway vehicle in case anything goes sour. So we do see that teams like this, they have a lot of preparation. They have a lot of basic knowledge of where they want to go and what they need to do in order for them to win.
Right. Oh, meanwhile, Chico gets taken out. Chico will fall. Chico will be knocked out there by Team AG. AG now putting a lot of fire against Lapar Esports. Will Lapar Esports be able to get away from the fire now?
Well, the fire is definitely turning hot here.
It is definitely turning hot.
It is definitely turning hot. We do see that as the circle closes up, more of the population of the players are actually going to go towards the circle. We do see TNC with a boat option there.
TCN coming in from the right side there.
TNC, excuse me, on the left side. As we look at the left side of the map, closer towards there, they're going to come in with the boat. So that could actually be a very strong option here. Roar Gaming now with the shots coming in. Excalibur, nice shots connecting.
Raw Gaming there from Indonesia, gonna be connecting some shots there against the team coming out from Philippines. Again, TNC is coming from the boat, yes, on the left side, but on the right side we do see TCN also coming in with the boat there, boat option. So this circle here, we see it has 50% land, 50% water. We're gonna see how players play. I do know some teams actually like to just chill on the boat, take their own sweet time to come into the land once the next circle closes in. We are looking at about 11 minutes into the game now. Still 20 teams alive. 20 teams left, 71 alive. You're going to see teams how they hold up the compounds. So this is what I mean by the difference between Miramar and Erangel, where teams in Erangel, they pretty much rely on holding the compounds more on compared to Miramar as well.
Well, holding on to compounds is something that a lot of the teams actually work very hard to do. Oh, Divine now taking out Gigabyte Marines member 1405. Now Levi's is the one that takes 1405 and says, sit down, you've played enough.
Oh, spray there coming from Jet, not be able to connect anything against Gigabyte Marines here. Meanwhile, Jiki from Vietnam as well goes down. Ellis with another vector kill of their Jiki. Haha Goose knocks out Pocoyo, his own teammate there. What is happening? A team kill there coming from Haha Goose with a vehicle. Gotta be careful there. FTY Ellis from Malaysia as well with a vector, and I believe there's an SLR on his back. He's gonna be able to shoo off the enemies coming in. JJ Leo with close squad and come back with an AK there, taking out Nguyen Duc Tam. Sorry if I pronounced your name wrong, dude.
Well, it's all good. You know, I mean, sometimes it happens. We all try our best to make sure that all the names sound correctly. Oh, some shots here coming in for Levi's, and this is going to be a very interesting fight here. Coming in. Oh, Levi's gets shot down by Tang Trung.
Definitely JJ Liu now. So both of these teams, they have a pretty decent spot in this play zone, as Nova will be in the play for a pretty much longer period, looking at how the circle is developing in time.
Now, looking from how circle is developing, we do see that a lot of the teams that drop by on the southeast side of the map are definitely enjoying and rejoicing to the amount of loot that they already have and the amount of positioning that they got.
Right, so Pocoyo, we saw Pocoyo just getting eliminated off from the game. He will go down, as we do see the loot crate is coming into the water. So there are some teams, Gang is also in the water as well. They might try to go for the loot crate. Meanwhile, Divine Esports going up against Gigabyte Marines here. They'll be trading off kills one after another. Meanwhile, Don as well from Malaysia will go down. Red Sea not looking too good. Divine Jet now holding his angle on this compound here, where Gigabyte Marine is still in the building. Divine, meanwhile, JJ Leo will be able to get his teammate up from the knockdown.
Jet now moving like a jet, getting as much loot as he can. Whether or not he's opening doors is yet to be known.
So very nice, decent loot crate here. MK14 with a suppressor there. So we're gonna see if Team Gang will eventually go for the airdrop.
Well, it really depends. When you want to go for end drops like this, we have to play a little bit like how Dogs played it. You want to focus on the positioning first before anything. Loot is secondary whenever you're heading towards the mid-late game because you've already looted everything already thus far. And if you're any good, you would have gotten some kills, you would have gotten some kind of dividend here. And I don't see the point. You know, like you wanna. Wait,
There with a fast shot, the Scar L in the 6th time. Gonna be taking out DJ Low from MSK Poseidon. I believe that might be the end for MSK Poseidon. Oh no, not yet. They still have I believe Jingu is still alive. So Jingu being the only member from MSK Poseidon left alive to try to bring the Singapore flight up to the top 10 spot here.
Well, top 10 spots are definitely something, but it's only going to be the #1 winner from this region. It goes to represent us in the Berlin PUBG Global Invitationals. Oh my god, that is a huge. You know what it looks like in my head? PUBGGI.
PUBGGI.
Yeah, so I was like trying to like translate all of that. But okay, jokes all aside, we do see Logitech now getting a little bit of shots here. We do see Gank FTY now on the way.
Very interesting circle. So we are now looking at the circle converging back on the main line side towards Milta and Milta Power. So teams that are in Novo, in Military Island, they will have to start moving back into the mainland, which will be very tricky because there is a lot of land to cover, a lot of water to cover. Oh, what a nice shot there by Unexpected, taking the headshot of Yaknoi. So just for information, if you get knocked down in the sea, you are instantly dead. You can't be revived. So basically, you are eliminated from the game directly. So Ellen's there with a nice shot there on Excalibur as well.
Well, as we look at it here, we do see Refund right now holding on to the coast. Did manage to see some people. What I'm really worried about is the fact that lots of teams are pretty nearby to him, and they might actually turn this around here for the side of the Vietnamese team.
Christiania the only one alive. Sorry, not Jingu. So Christiania will be the only one alive from MSK Poseidon, very nearby to the Vietnamese team there. So one of the Vietnamese teammates actually went for the loot crate and actually has the MK14 in his hands now. Lapar Zen goes down. So Zenix from Lapar Esports will go down as well. Gang still looking strong, 3 men alive. Man Parang, M0 Boys and Allens as well from Malaysia. Lapar, Mr. Seta, meanwhile with Vector kill of Nemo with a return kill now on Master Seta. Master Seta will get knocked out as well. Oh, what a frag. Is that a frag or a smoke? He's got to be careful not to switch out the wrong accessories there.
Right, so now bandaging the wounds within the smoke is going to do damage here. Damage in a very interesting, precarious position, not to say the least. Tanawat PH now looking for some medication alongside some ammo.
So we are coming into the 20-minute mark really soon. Still 20 teams, no teams out of the game yet. 58 alive, so pretty much a lot of teams are down to two members or even one member left. AG and TNC will be very nearby. Meanwhile, Pochinki House Puddings also is there. Our AG Jack takes out TNC member LVP.
Oh, another smoke goes down here for DMG.
Still try to bandage out, but this circle will start to hurt as it is the play zone. The third play zone. Meanwhile, Papa Zai gets knocked down. So Unicorn taking out the whole team of TNC. TNC will go down. Papa Zai will be eliminated as well. 19 teams left. I believe that is TNC speaks out of the game.
Well, we do see that the Philippines right now keeping it aggressive and giving us rights to celebrate each and every day. But man, oh man, was that some aggressive play coming in from the Philippines.
TNC speaks as you see there now in the chat there that they are out of the game. Meanwhile, Refund Pino there with the MK14 taking out Levi's from team Divine here. So a lot of teams are playing at the ridge here, right by the seaside there. Gonna try to get a hit shot of one of the teams from
Believes, trying to believe. Will he believe? Trying to wait for
Unicorn. So Unicorn's doing a lot of work in this match. Lapar Esports, Mel Romeo will be the last one taken out of the game from Lapar Esports. So Lapar Esports is out of the game as well. 18 teams, 2 teams are gone from this match. 49 alive. Tough run there for Lapar Esports. Not going to be able to capitalize on their high standings on the leaderboards coming in after the first game. So Unicorns, they have 4 kills now as a team. They have taken out 2 teams. Very good play there from Unicorns, taking out Lotus. Now he will see Pochinki House teammate here will be coming into the zone and taken out by ADZ as well.
Well, like I said, Logitech is actually put in a position where they're able to hug the coast. When you're able to hug the coast, right, you have this option of, alright, no matter where I go, whether it's left or right, I'm still relatively covered. But because there's only one guy left, it's gonna not be good for other members like Real or just any member in general that has a decent team. Because not to say that that particular person playing that style is bad, or not to say it's wrong. It's just sometimes it can be very counterintuitive. You think you're safe, because there's a rock behind you, but there's suddenly someone behind you just crowbars you in the head.
So we saw also another teammate of Red Sea going down. Cristania meanwhile taking out 2 guys from Refine. Mio and Funky will go down by Refine. RRQ, we are seeing RRQ out of the game as a Cristania just finishing off the kills on Mio, securing some points there. So when teams actually do play on the reach side, what happens is that, say that MSK Poseidon is out, Pino will have the headshot of Cristania. So back to my point, if teams are actually playing on the reach side there, their challenge comes when the circle actually converges away from the reach. They have a lot of open area to cover, to get into the next cover for them. Like as we do see some teams there moving into the compound now from the reach side here. They will be able to spot some other teams as well. Team tracker. This is a team tracker where we do see how many members from each team are left alive. Given Marines and Divine Esports, 1 teammate alive, whereas most of the teams are still pretty strong up there with 4 members alive.
Well, Smoke now being thrown down, left, right, center, back. Believes now out of the position that he was favoring so much. Believe non-stop, not too far behind him as well. Smoke provides the ultimate cover, the best cover.
Logitech believes the game with the K98. Forte's going to be able to spot out one of the team members from Dogs there. Shot's not going to be connected. 30 teams left, 38 alive. This is coming to the 25th minute mark that we always like coming from all these competitive games. DJ Chip taking out Believes there with a nice M60 shot. So Logitech is going to be dropping there very hard. So DJ Chip will take out non-stop. And I believe that is the end of Team Logitech from Thailand.
Well, Thailand has to go home, but however, they do have another Thai team in the form of Real here.
Reals the bands. So this team Reals now has the reach, very nice reach there for cover. Meanwhile, the Indonesian team holding up the compound pretty well. Gonna be hoping for the next circle to come on top of them as well.
Well, if we look at positioning right now and how the circle is comparatively to everyone else, everyone is slowly moving into this hot contested area. So we do see that there's not much in terms of one kill. It could actually get more for the side of AG here. However, we do feel that the lack of aggression early on could have actually benefited them a little bit more comparatively.
Yep. So now we do see Pisces Pro taking out the AWM from the loot crate. We do see Gang right across there. They will have to start making their way into the circle. Oh no, they are in the circle. The next play zone is on their favor. So Gang now going to be pulling off one back for the deficit that they experienced in the first game. Allens goes out from the play zone. Not too sure what happened there to Allens, but he is taken out of the game.
Allens, the second time already taken down by the play zone, but it seems that TVIP who gets taken down, BSC Belia.
Belva from TCN will take out the team there with a headshot. So Real Sherlock DLH here now. The only one left alive, I believe, coming from his team.
As we see towards built-up power base and all that, we do see lots of teams now are going to look for high ground, or at least look for a nice piece of cover and start shooting people.
Right, so now very nice reach there in play in favor for Real. Teams from Indonesia is still at the side edge from TCN. Real Banana 1 gonna be throwing some smoke to get across to the other side of the road. It's gonna be a challenge for them as they will be passing by the Indonesian team, which has an angle at them. So you just need to wait this out for the team to come out from compound and just so Mad Dog will go down there from Exclusia. Exclusia taking out Mad Dog. One-man punch as well. So Dogs now, the winner for the first round, Chicken Dinner holder for the first round, is gonna be in trouble as they will go down. I believe there's only one member or two members left from that team.
Well, oh, shots coming in here.
Dropping very low, Banana 1. So this is a challenge for them. They have to get across the street really soon. We do see teams from TCN now starting to make the push around. Will he be running into Real? We'll find out. So Real Sherlock gets taken out there by Gigabyte Marine Tantrum.
Well, crawling, stoning is going to be the case, but he's going to be used the Banana 1 now. Getting knocked out, and it's going to be... Oh, goodbye, goodbye, goodbye.
Definitely, so goodbye to Team Real's defense will drop there. 10 teams now, 25 alive. Real by Pokemon is out of the game. Refund Gaming, I believe, is also out of the game as we see there. Exclusion now holding the compound, very good spot there. The Malaysian Hope Gang FTY is still in the game as well. Divine Jet taking out Excalibur there from Raw Gaming. Belva covering up himself with the smoke there. They got to hope for the next circle to be on them. Will we see the circle? Oh, the circle is across the street, so they will have to make their way maybe towards the right side to go far right and coming from the edge of the circle there. As the circle on the other side will be closing in much slower compared to what we are going to be seeing on the left side of the display zone.
Well, like I said beforehand, when you have the options to actually move out wherever you want to go, wherever you want to be, you do realize that, yeah, I mean, as much as loot is really important and all that, I prefer position over everything. But it depends on the certain scenario. I mean, like Divine Jeff, he really needs a 5.56 ammo if he wants to survive here, especially if he got the weapon that requires a very high rate of fire.
Yep, and Boya coming into the play zone with that bike here. With the AK is back. So Gank is at the edge, I believe, of the circle. They will start to move their way in a little bit. Divine Jet, another team that we've been talking about, they have a lot of kills now, 9 kills in the back. They are the teams that play a little bit more aggressive compared to the other teams, going for the kills instead. Divine Jet here, very nice shooting control there with his SPS. One more shot there, didn't really connect. Divine Jet realizes there is a lot of fire coming in from his backside here. TCN Bucky will go down by Exclusia. TCN Bucky. Another teammate there from TCN. Just trying to make his way across into the Harry Potter Tower. Is not going to be able to make it. Exclusia with the M16 and the 6x scope will take him out.
The single shots were very nice coming in from Exclusia. Tracking where this progress was and just taking one taps. Very good show of discipline here.
Empty. So Gang, FTY, M01 is getting another kill as we see earlier. So Bai here is going to be crossing past Miss Manparang with the nade there, taking out Unicorns. So Gang FTY making their way up to the top 10 teams alive. 9 teams left, 17 alive. 4 kills now for Team Myth here. We'll see how Exclusia. Oh, Exclusia gets another kill of Raw Gaming. Mikun will go down. Never Go also gets taken out with the AWM, with the headshot. Divine Esports will be out of the game as we've seen here. Gang still 2 men or 3 men strong. Shots
coming in from Escalisa. So I don't think he needs to jump down.
Escalisa just trying to get a better positioning. Oh, Manparang falls now for General Gaming. General Gaming and Steve will now push towards the compound where Manparang is. Gang FTY losing out Manparang now, leaving out only M0 boys, I believe, from Gang FTY. Gonna be bringing the hope for Malaysia now.
So looking at General Gaming now, he does have some good sprays here, but no, it's General Gaming
boys goes down from General Gaming. General Gaming taking out Gang FTY out of the game, finishing off 8 Gang FTY now. 7 teams left, 12 alive. Pieces Pro now with the AWM. Of course, we do see the 1-shot, 1-kill sniper being held by him.
So we do see Myth now with the M34, if I'm not mistaken. Or was that the Barrett?
So they do have a buggy, but the buggy is one tire short. They will have to make their way in by foot at this stage of the game. There's no point of them driving a buggy, just to use it as cover. So 8 times here with the AW. Will he be able to get a shot?
Shots.
Will he be able to get a shot off Unicorns here? Oh,
M24.
one more shot there. One more shot and Unicorns will go down. Will he be able to connect the shot there? Unicorns going to be taking cover at the ridge. Very nice play there by Unicorns, going for the ridge as cover. Myth there just trying to spray some shots over to the side of that team to suppress them from actually moving around much.
What I like about this is there's this one random Indonesian teammate that's just stuck in the middle. Team Dogs not too far off. Oh, you see Tantrong right now taking away Killer from Archangels. It sees that Pisces Pro. And just to see somebody goes for the shot and he gets it onto Killer.
Yep, so Myth will go down as well. Dog Emperor. What a shot there from Pisces Pro. He has only 6 bullets left, 7 bullets left on his AWM. Going to be able to try to take out Tantrong. This is the top 10 players left alive. The last 10 players, 5 teams, 4 teams left. 8 alive, TCM, Bell will go down from the play zone. Dogs is out of game.
Wow.
The champion from the first round will go down. AG, DMGG will be taking a lot of fire from Unicorns. Unicorns will take him out as well. So this is the Clash of Titans. Philippines against Thailand as well.
Ooh.
Thailand proving to be stronger now, taking out Unicorns from Philippines. General Gaming going to try to get DMG up from the knock here. Pieces Pro still rocking the AWM. Gonna try to look for the team of Vietnam here, coming from the side. 3 teams left, 5 alive. Myth is still in the game. Gigabyte Marines is still in the game, so there's 3 teams now.
It's 1 on 3 on 1. No.
Right.
Oh no.
So Tantrong from Gigabyte Marines will be taken out with the AWM
3 on 1
shot. Pieces Pro. So this is a 3 on 1. Not looking too good for Myth now.
3 bullets though. Can he do the Jingu?
He has that
Can
rifle.
he do the
and back as
Jingu?
well. He is going to try to
He misses 1 shot.
play off the AWM.
Pisces Pro.
They know where the member from Myth is. They shouldn't have a problem closing out this game coming from Team AG. A shot there coming out from Ezeklusha.
Oh! Snap, crackle, and pop. That was beautiful coming in. And your winners, man, oh man, that was really done well. It seems that the Thais are slowly coming back into this game. We had a very interesting game number 1 where Philippines was at the top. Game number 2 was a little bit more even between these 2 teams.
Right.
We do see more variety of other teams within the region. Demonic Armory now, your round number 2 winner.
So Demonic Armory pulling back Chicken Dinner coming out after the first game where we see them a little bit on a lackluster performance coming in from the first round. So they actually secured a Chicken Dinner in the second round. Going to be putting themselves up on the leaderboards as well. So we're looking at the mall venue here. It is at the Mall Bangkapi, Bangkok, Thailand. That is where the tournament is happening.
And man, you can literally see the amount of crowd there. That's just insane. Definitely a big thing. PUBG is really big there in Thailand as well. Pretty big thing here in Malaysia as well. So I'm really excited to see, really excited to be able to cast this game. But aside from my personal feelings, were your feelings just totally offended by the amount of crazy awesome plays? Because I felt so offended by how good these guys are. Like really good.
You have to get good if you want to.
Yo, he had to go there. He had to go there. That's why I'm offended all the time. So anyway, jokes aside, this has been a very awesome game number 2. This is the PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds Southeast Asia Championship 2018 for the Southeast Asian region. This is the grand finals where we will find out which team from these 5 countries, Malaysia, Indonesia, Singapore, Vietnam, Thailand, which one of these teams, only one, will represent the whole Southeast Asian region and going to Berlin. So it's going to be a long, arduous journey. We do see that a lot of the favorite teams that we have been paying attention to coming up towards this tournament is actually faltering off. They're not doing as well, and some of our favorites like Poseidon and Lapar Gaming and some other teams as well not doing too good. So I feel that can be remedied with, I guess, more time.
Right. So after this, we're going to see a lot of FPP action. So there's no more TPP action. We're going to jump into FPP after this. So we're going to see how the teams like MSK Poseidon and all that, how they play out. right?
All right, so I'm gonna cut you off real quick because we're gonna go to a short little break. We don't want to waste any more time. We want to get this break over and done with, and we want to continue to cast game number 3. So why don't you kick back, relax, put your feet up high, get yourself a nice drink, and stay tuned. back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, players known and unknown from all over the world. Welcome back to PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds Southeast Asia Championship 2018, brought to you by Intel, brought to you by Republic of Gamers. I'm the Hound, and to my right, Jin. What's going on, Jin?
It's been good. It's been good. We have a little bit of delay here and there, but no worries. We have a lot of FPP action after this. We're gonna kick off with 2 maps of Miramar, and then of course we're gonna finish off with 2 maps of Erangel FPP. And we're gonna see how all these teams play. It's very interesting. We've seen 2 games so far: CPP, Miramar, and Erangel. Teams from Philippines and Thailand proved to be very strong coming to this tournament. So round 1, we did see Dogs from Philippines and of course TNC from Philippines taking the first 2 games.
Yes.
Sorry, taking the first game, and of course round 2 we saw Demonic Armory from Thailand taking the second chicken dinner home.
So it seems to be that, judging from the first 2 games, it's going to be a very, very wild kind of standings, and it could be anybody's game.
Right.
We do see that Philippines and Thailand are kind of leading in the leaderboards right now. We will find out what is the what is the standings in a bit. However, let's speculate a little bit. Do you feel that the Thais are adjusting towards the playstyle, or are they just working on their own game?
I think they're working on their own game. I think it's just that the Malaysia-Singapore teams, they may be more familiar with the FPP mode instead of the TPP mode. We are reading some chat over the break, and we are looking at a lot of people saying that Malaysia are more comfortable with the FPP mode. I do agree in certain extent where our region is heavily relying more on the FPP side compared to maybe Thailand, and they are more well versed around TPP. And not to say that they're not good in FPP, it's just that maybe Malaysia or Singapore might have the chance in the FPP mode as well.
I'm really curious to see how the Malaysians are going to do. What is really important here is the total points for the leaderboards here. Demonic Gaming now on top, followed very closely by Dogs.
Right.
So the top five is definitely where we want to watch it. Lapar Gaming follows down from 7th place up until maybe like 11th to 12th, if I'm not mistaken. A place that they are not very unfamiliar with. They've been there time and time again, and just like the scrappy bunch that they are, they will somehow or another find a way to claw their way up. Whether or not it's going to be done today or whether it's not going to be done tomorrow is yet to be known. I do have a lot of faith in some of the other regions, especially Indonesia. Would like to see them shine a little bit more in terms of how they're going to be playing it out. However, judging from their overall play style, it might be a bit of a problem. Let's take a look at the highlights for the previous games.
Alright, so now we are looking at how Divine Jet here actually took
Wow.
kills there for Divine. So Divine, again, one of the teams that I've seen very aggressively going for kills after they are not going to be able to secure any chicken dinner as of yet. We'll be looking at their team as well coming to the it is. So we saw the circle ending up on the southeast side of the map, and we slowly went on to the mainland side, covering over Milta Power. So this was very early on the stage where we do see fights happening in Novo against Team Gigabyte Marines and Divine.
Now, Red Sea now not doing too well in some of these games here. Oh, that was a beautiful shot coming
This
in.
shot was very nice there, coming from the team from Indonesia. And also this one here from Dogs. A very nice good range shot there, taking off teams from Thailand here.
Wow, that was a nice execution shot, and that was the Scar right into the SKS to shoot it off. And we saw some really good plays here coming in from the teams. Look at those long-range dings there coming in from the Vietnamese team, and the Indonesian team now getting shot down with the Vector. Sad. Open field, shot down. I mean, it sucks to be that, like you're running hard, and suddenly you get shot, and you just see your avatar just roll.
That is the fun of the game. So that is the game. So and then also props to Gang STY. They made it pretty high up. They made it to top 10 position in this game. They fell back. So Duke here not able to connect all his sprays on the second member there. Comes in, and will
Well, this one was some really good shots here by Escalicia. Some really nice shots from long range, and it seems that Escalicia has a lot of success here with the M16 from a varying amount of distance with the 6 scope. So total kills of 5 there for him, and this is one of the more interesting ones, General Gaming, getting that shot in. We do see Espelicia now moving up, and this was, I think, the last 4 teams available here, 8 alive in 4 teams. And AG now trying their best to solidify their spots, but it's going to be the Thai team that gets ahead here. Demonic Gaming going up against Myth as well as AG here, fighting it out as best as they can. But
Right,
it's
so
going
that
to
one,
be
the
that
shot
day.
there, the SLR shot finishing him off, getting the kills there for Demonic Armory, securing the second chicken dinner of today, the first chicken dinner in the second game of today. We will be looking at some of the players now before we jump into the game. A very nice setup now. This is the PUBG Southeast Asia Championship, the finals happening live at Bangkok. We will be giving you the highlights, the rundown in English for the next 2 days, for today and tomorrow. If you guys are tuning in to the stream, do remember to say hi, like, and share the stream.
Yes,
We are
please.
streaming on Nemo TV, MET Malaysia, and Asus ROG Facebook, Twitch as well, MET_esports if you want the action in full HD.
Yeah, so make sure you go check it out. If you guys got enough on your data, make sure to check out the Twitch, because that is going to be in full HD, whereas everything else on Facebook and all that is going to be on 720 with 30 frames a second. So it's up to you which one you want to get. But in terms of what we're seeing thus far regarding the game, it's been a very action-packed game. It's been one of those. It's been one of those games whereby we feel like no one in the top tier is safe, and that's always been the case here. Maybe with a few exceptions of maybe the Malaysian Singapore regions, we do see that some of the teams are favorited amongst the others. And here's a short little standing for you guys to check out what is happening. 11 to 12 place: Unicorns, Capcom, Trapezia, Lapar, Roar, Logitech, G-Host, MSK Poseidon, Rex, Region, Kion, Airwolf, Vince Pro, Puchiki House, and Red Sea make up the lower half of the total standings. And on the first side, Demonic Armory, Dogs, Myth PUBG, Refund Gaming, Real by Poke Esports, TNC Speaks, Gigabyte Marines, Archangel, Divine Esports, and Gank for FTY are the first to 10th place here.
Right. So we are looking at only one Malaysia team in the top 10 leaderboards now, where some of the teams are falling back behind Chico now from Lapar Esports. See, this is the thing that I like about them. Although they are falling back a little bit, they are just there to have fun.
Yes.
Get the experience in the competitive scene, and who knows, just try their best, and they might just crawl their way back up into the leaderboards.
Yeah, we've seen it time and time again. We saw it done for the Malaysia and Singapore region, whereby they just keep climbing and climbing and climbing, and from behind, I believe that Lapar Gaming were able to stay relevant within the competition solely out of the second segment of the first person perspective. So as soon as first person perspective came in, they started to rack kills, they started to rack wins, which I felt benefited them in the long run.
Yeah.
However, remember, only one team is going to be heading towards that, and it's going to be the top team in the leaderboard. So
Yep.
it's not enough for you to basically just break off and be in the top 4, but you've got to place first, and you got to place really high in terms of the points, because you want to represent your country. Papa Zaid right there showing some love.
Yep, so this is Team Red Sea showing some love. They will be trying to secure more points coming into the third game, Miramar FPP. They are currently at the bottom side of the leaderboards, but nevertheless, we are not going to be opting out of them. We will try to see Red Sea Esports jump back into the leaderboards, hopefully for this game.
Well, this is game number 3, potentially of game number 3 of 6, and we are going to go full on FPP mode, and I think it's going to be Miramar first, right?
Miramar first, definitely. So there's 2 Miramars and then there's 2 Erangels.
Alright, so that's going to be very interesting. We're going to see how these teams are going to actually adapt towards these situations and see what kind of playstyle that is going to give them the best in terms of what they have to offer against enemy teams. So I do like the setup here, the Republic of Gamers monitors and PCs and stuff. That's just something of amazing right there. I mean, we saw some of the rotating ads like the monitor, and man, oh man, I wish I could have the monitor.
Yep.
Definitely will give me what, 244 hertz, was it?
244.
200 something hertz. I don't know.
160.
160. Oh my god. You see, bro? That's how much I want, bro. 244 hertz, bro. You can see every movement. If a guy moves, if you see the pixel of the hair move, you can see already it's an automatic headshot already for you.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I'm making a lot of making a lot of number mistakes here today. Japan, Vietnam. Oh my goodness gracious me! It's
So
been a
this
long.
is-
It's been a long day.
Yeah. This is the Logitech team coming from Thailand. Little not bad performance from them. I would say they can probably do much better from what we've seen in the past 2 games as well.
Yes, yes.
So a team that hasn't been performing as what we expected is MSK Poseidon.
Yes, definitely. A team that I feel was one of the favorites to actually be in the top 5 at least. They're not doing really well. I think they placed 15th or 14th, I think. And I don't know. It's a bit of a loss for us that we're not actually there on the spot, because we would like to actually get to talk to the players in between rounds and see what kind of thoughts are going through their head, what kind of expectations that they're having competing in this. Because from each interaction that we have with the professional players when we were doing the Malaysia-Singapore region, it benefited us in the long run. It benefited us and the cast as well, because why? We were able to ask them to see what was going on, what was
Right.
specific quirks, what was specific pros that they were working on. But now that there's this bit of disconnect, it's a little bit hard to get into the mind of the players. I mean, you can only assume so much based on the game style.
Correct. I agree with you. So maybe in the future we will be able to cover more PUBG action for you guys tuning in from home. This is Zen from Lapar Esports. Very cool headset there.
A very cool headset. Yeah, it looks very
Futuristic.
rustic, futuristic.
Slick.
Very sleek, yes, it does. Okay, so now we do see that all these members are actually waiting to get loaded up into the game. So we are excited to provide you some tip-top quality action in terms of what they are going to be playing out. So we do see just now that when we were playing out, there were a lot of long-range fights here. Do you feel that the Malaysian teams, Malaysian, Indonesia, Singapore, and because I'm using this is based on what I see for Philippines and Vietnam. They just seem to take some really nice, crazy long-range shots here. Even the highlights are dominated mostly by the Filipinos and the Thais and the
Right.
Vietnamese. So do you feel that these 3 regions are just doing something better compared to the other 3 regions, or?
I think not to say better, but maybe just different. They are doing something a lot different from what we've seen coming out from the other regions. But of course, this is FPP. We will jump straight into the game. This is round 3 of today. Round 3 out of 6 FPP Miramar. We are looking at the inside of the plane. Very nice texture there. Although I miss the whole everybody sits in the plane and you can see each other. You know,
I kind of
the
miss
game,
that.
when the game released. So we are looking at how the plane path is flying now. It's going to be going down south, past by San Martin to Machera and heading towards Los Higos. So very nice dissecting the map there into 2 parts there diagonally. I'm gonna see how teams. So FPP, TPP, again we mentioned this before. The playstyles will be very different in terms of the looting capabilities, the way they actually traverse the terrain as well. We're gonna see how teams actually play this out, because Myanmar is known to provide a lot of ground cover from the terrains as well. So FPP is gonna be very, very different for all these teams.
Oh, very interesting. The 2 Malaysian teams are dropping relatively close to each other here, and it seems that they have changed out their entire game style here. We did realize that for the side of Lapa Gaming and for the side of the Malaysian teams, they tend to drop either in the middle or at the start of the flight path, and they want to basically separate themselves from the packs here. So we do see that the 2 Malaysian teams, one Malaysian team is going to go towards Valley del Mar,
Right.
and one more is heading towards
South side of Los Leones.
Yeah, the south side
Yeah,
of Los Leones,
so-
southwest to be exact.
Right, so now we do see the first play zone being in play now. It is going to be on top of Los Leones. Not going to be too much of a problem for all these teams, as it is pretty much centralized in the whole map here. Again, Lapar East was going for the south side of Los Leones there, get some loots, and then Red Sea is going to the southwest side of Los Leones. Logitech believe now, no AR as of yet, going to be rocking a pistol. Going to be safe as there is no teams around this Logitech team right now.
All right, so decided not to go for the Winchester. Logitech believes now. Moving it up. Sherlock as well is towards the water treatment plant, if I'm not mistaken. So that's going to be interesting. Nothing much in terms of the early loot phases here. Not many teams are going to be engaging with each other, at least for the first few minutes, in terms of where they are. I mean, a lot of these teams are already alone, but we do see the Singaporeans now drawing first blood onto the Filipinos.
First play is Kusanya there with the M60 and the 2x. Gonna be taking out one member from this team, Unicorn. So Unicorn ADZ, one of the players that we've seen appearing on the scoreboard a lot for the past 2 games. Now it's gonna be careful. Kusanya is alone. So MSK, Poseidon, how they play actually from what I watched is they actually like to split drop. They go and loot out on their own first, and then later on they come back into the team. They rendezvous back in the team, and then they hold the compounds. This is their playstyle that I've witnessed, and this is their strategy. So not much of a change yet. They are playing their game. They are playing something that they're comfortable with. So Pisana is going to try to take out one man here. Oh, last hit there. Not going to be able to connect. Pisana missing out a kill for MSK Poseidon, as we do see Josh now coming in for help. Coming to help Crisania now. Iman gonna be very, very low. One hit away from dropping. Gonna try to back out just a little bit away from MSK Poseidon.
Now looking at this entirety of the entire map here, we do see that most of the teams are going to be some of the teams are going to be towards the middle of the circle, and that's going to be towards the northern side of Los Leones. So we do feel that this is going to be a bit of a hectic circle. Lots of the players are still on the outside, but most of them are slowly going to mobilize in as soon as the first play zone is in play. 2 minutes and 30 seconds before play zone number 1 starts moving. Before the second circle starts moving, and we can't wait to see what kind of movements are going to be practiced by the teams here. Early game looting phases here are relatively peaceful unless you drop into highly populated areas. But other than that, I feel that there's nothing much has changed since the first game here for most teams.
Yep, it's just more on the pace of the game that the teams are taking. They might go for a slow. Oh, it's gotta be careful now, team. Booming just running across these 2 members from Logitech. Billy is gonna be able to kill off Boomins from Team Pochinki House. He will fall down, and Pochinki House just losing out 1 member there. So loot crate comes in. It is a Groza.
Oh, Groza, right. So this is going to be very interesting. Personally, between the Groza, I prefer the AUG in my opinion. You know, like I personally prefer the AUG, but the Groza definitely has some really good fire rate and some really good damage compared to the AUG. So it takes a little bit of skill for you to actually master that Groza. AUG is definitely a little bit more accessible comparatively. But what are your thoughts on that?
I agree with you, although the Groza, I mean, yes, the Groza does give a higher damage output compared to the AUG, but we do see teams opting out for more on the Groza side because the recoil control on the Groza isn't that bad. If you have a suppressor on it or compensator on it, it's gonna be one of the top choices of weapon because teams will
Groza AK? Which one has worse recoil?
AK.
AK, yeah, definitely. All right, so definitely a Groza would be a wise choice for most of you AK users out there. We do see a lot of AK users get varying degrees of success, especially at middle range. I think that's where the AK-47 that's where the AK actually shines the most. I mean, it medium range, you're able to dish out high velocity, high amount of damage. So something that you have to definitely take into account. Escalicia now.
Escalicia just trying to rotate over to the left, trying to get an angle on these 2 members of Logitech. One of them being knocked down from the vehicle attempt to go over this ridge here. So Belize will try to get non-stop up. Non-stop will be revived as we do see Myth now trying to rotate to the left side to get an angle on these 2 members of Logitech. So they gotta be careful now. Although they have the smoke will be running out very quickly. So gonna see how Logitech plays this out, and also we see right smack in the middle of the play zone now fires a shot at, I believe it's Logitech versus Myth now.
I think this is one of the more aggressive plays here. Here comes a Logitech lob right there. Myth whiffs it. Menorah on his left there.
Oh, now. This is the shot from Belize there. Minoru takes out non-stop as well, so 2 kills from Minoru. Double kill, gonna be securing the kill. Easy 2 kill points there for Myth, PUBG, Minoru. Gonna be having some loot there for the team.
Oh, wow. And it seems like Gang FTY, Allen's now in a bit of trouble. Real Banana One with that breakaway shotgun. Nice little nice little one shot there into the face of Allen's, taking him down as he runs up the stairs.
So Gang now losing one member, which is Ellens. He was away from his teammates over on the other side of the map there. Banana One also away from his team. So a lot of teams are running the 3-1 strat where basically 3 guys stick together and 1 man goes out and loot in the open and then comes back with more information.
What's the big, I mean, okay, sorry to cut you off right there. What's the biggest con there when you go for the 3-1 composition?
Of course, at most you are sacrificing 1 player. The 3 guys, they will... So basically what happens is they tend to keep the 3 heavy firepower guys together, and then 1 guy with a scouting, which... The 1 guy has to be very disciplined, I would say. The 1 guy that goes out and loot, he has to be very disciplined in terms of whether he takes on fights or whatever, because he might be running into a team of 4 or a team of 3, which then will put him into a deficit in terms of being outnumbered in terms of the number of players there. So
shots coming in from Benz.
Ben's not going to be able to connect. So the 3-1 strat is very viable. It's being run by a lot of the competitive teams. It's just of getting more information when they come back, because this is once again a squad game, and it relies a lot of information, especially FPP mode as well.
Well, we do see Stebbins now. Oh, Banana One. Very interesting textures here. I think we should switch it up.
So
Alright.
slight rendering issues there.
Yes,
No problem. So we'll be looking at Sherlock and also Televipu.
Televipu. Vipu. Let's just call it Vipu, right? Let's make it easy for us. All right.
Yeah.
So now, looking at the circle, what do you feel now as the teams are actually moving in?
Not too much of some difficulties coming from the teams, because the circle is still pretty much centralized. There's a lot of land to cover. There's a lot of places that the teams can actually go, and of course this is the first place zone.
Oh, will he take the shot? He should take the shot here. Funky M should definitely take the shot.
So will he be able to take the shot? So nope, he will not take the shot with the Car 98 there. He has an 8 times scope, so I'm not too quite sure what Funky M was thinking. But maybe he was just trying to wait for them to stop and try to get a clearer shot. Jingu, meanwhile, MSK Poseidon, team that we are looking at, still 4-man strong, 1 kill in the pocket now from Cristania. They will be trying to move into the play zone to get a better positioning and hold their ground. So this is what I know MSK Poseidon likes to do. They like to go towards the middle part of the circle and hold it there till later on where... Oh, Cristania meanwhile gets taken down by TCN. So just when we are talking about MSK Poseidon, 1 of the members drops, Cristania will go down.
Well, as we see it here, Nivergo from Roar Gaming now going to be meeting up with Logitech Yakoi and Takmo. Oh, Takmo now with the shot.
Oh, the reload, bad timing there. His teammate Logitech will be able to knock down the team push coming from Raw Gaming. Logitech going up against Raw Gaming now. Raw trying to nade out the team from Logitech that is in the compound, in the house as well. Nate is going to be missing. Meanwhile, Tapnok is dropping very low from the bleed out here. Yang Noi being the only one surviving. Meanwhile, Cristania gets eliminated from the match, and Tapnok will go down. So Yang Noi, the only one. DJ Lol meanwhile takes out Minoru. Minoru, one of the strong players coming into this tournament as well. Josh as well takes out Sweet. So it is a battle of the Titans. Battle of the Titans. MSK Poseidon going up against Smith. Meanwhile, we do see RRQ and AW also fighting it out. MSK Poseidon coming on top of that fight there with Myth so far.
Well, ooh, he tried to go for it, but
not gonna connect the hit shot there.
Mikune gets taken down by Logitech Yaknoi. So that was really good coming in from Logitech G host there with the push. Took advantage of the fact that wasn't able to land his weapon cleanly.
So 2-on-2 now. MSK Poseidon going up against Myth. PUBG now. Very intense fight here. The top 2 teams. 1 team coming from Singapore and 1 team coming from Thailand. Sweet not gonna be able to get to Minoru. They are still 3-man strong. Myth, Cristania. Sorry, MSK Poseidon is lacking on the firepower man count here for MSK Poseidon. 2 guys against 3 guys now.
Alright, so we still have 6 alive with 90 teams. Oh, reviving is Sweet.
He's gonna try to get the revive of Minoru. Meanwhile, Josh just covering the door angle. Sweet will hear Josh going to the backside of this house. Not too sure how MSK Poseidon is going to be able to hold up this compound. Meanwhile, Minoru Myth is getting shot by TCN from another direction. This may give team MSK Poseidon the upper hand when they come out from the compound against the fight against Myth.
Yeah, I mean, like I said beforehand, sometimes you just don't want to fight against some of these teams. You just want to play passive and let the teams fight, and then you just scrape up the rest. But sometimes you have to fight your way out, so...
So Myth now, and so 3 teams will be coming to this compound. They will have to find out who will be the one standing. From TCN, they have 4 guys coming to the compound now. So Myth and MSK Poseidon got to be careful. So DJ Law takes out 1 guy from TCN, finishes off the kill. So 3 guys now from TCN. So they are aware that 2 teams are in this compound, which is MSK and Myth. Will TCN still decide to push in? We will find out.
I don't think he should push in just because of the amount of people that are around. Yeah, you can argue that we didn't hear anything. We have to make sure that we clear all rooms and all that. The thing about it is you need to start clearing all these smaller rooms in order for you not to get caught when you start going into bigger rooms. That's a thing that I feel is lacking for a lot of teams. And also one more basic fundamentals. Even at a professional level, some players forget to peek their corners.
Right.
So that's something that needs to be fixed. It needs to be consistent across the entire platform. So I feel that a lot of the teams are not peaking properly comparatively. So this could actually pose some problems here.
Escalusia still gotta be careful as Team TCN is around the corner as well as Team MSK Poseidon. They are still in the play zone, so they still can take their time and how they want to play this out.
Well,
they will be taking fire from Raw Gaming as well on the east side of the compound. So this compound now being a very target heavy compound now for all the teams around it.
Well, like I said beforehand, when you have a compound and you want to hold on to a compound, right? The problem with holding on a compound is that terrain is always static. It never moves, right? So there's no kind of dynamic terrain where you can build a mountain or something in front of your stronghold. No, it doesn't work that way. You need to have that. So when you look at it from this point and you see,
oh, Josh takes out the nuke here. They will go down, so unfortunately the MSK Poseidon will go out of the game. They will be eliminated. That is the end for MSK Poseidon in the third match. Again, once again, very lackluster performance coming out from MSK Poseidon, finishing off in 19th place of the game.
Wow, some big shots here coming in from Lightning too.
We haven't seen a lot of the Malaysian team performing. They have been very quiet throughout the game of this Miramar, the third game of the game. So we may be able to see some Malaysian players coming up really soon. Portuguese leading here.
Well,
a strong steam from Esclusia. 2 kills for Myth. Gonna be driving away with a pickup truck.
well, as soon as we look at it from this Tanawat now, as you can see, a lot of some nice shots. A lot of the viewership that was angry is already died down. You wanna know why? Because the shots are coming faster and faster and faster and harder and harder and harder. Because I did manage to read some of the comments and I was just like, wow, some of the people are so angry because wow, why is Lapar Gaming not doing well? Why is MSK Poseidon not doing well? Mainly because it's just FPP, mainly because they're not TPP related teams. However, we do see that their score is actually improving pretty well. So all you people at home, all you angry viewers at home, you should, wow,
so
Lapar Gaming
and Red Sea is battling it out, and of course Divine and TNC is going up against each other. 17 teams left, 54 left. I believe one of the teams have been eliminated as well, not too sure. So the 2 Malaysian teams are going up against each other. We do see Lapar Gaming, Red Sea, and Gang FTY very close by to each other. Chico gets the kill off Haha Goose. 2 guys from Red Sea is down. Will Lapar Esports come up stronger compared to Red Sea? They will be. So it's an all Malaysian team fight right now. So Chico is going to be able to spot him out by the pickup truck. Is going to be looking out for the other teams. So TNC speaks, one of the top teams as well, will go out early on in the stage of this game. Chico trying to get the secure kill over at Red Sea.
Chico now very far away, trying to get a line of sight onto High Ghost here. He's got to be careful on how he does it. Zennis as well, looking towards assisting.
Takes out Haha Good, finishing off the kill. So shots here from Master Zen. Not going to be able to shoot him as he has to go for the reload now. Papa Zai will be able to move away from danger. Zen and Master Satan still trying to provide some cover against Red Sea. Meanwhile, Gang FTY Man Parang is going to be spotting out some teams driving past by. It is oh, John falls out of the car.
Some shots here. Exhibitions not in a good spot. Man Parang now keeping it sharp with his M16.
So we do see Don from Red Sea dropping out of the car earlier, maybe just a little bit of mistake. So Archangel going to be getting fired here by Gang FTY as Team Lapar Esports will be moving in to this compound as well, around the compound, just avoiding Gang as they know shots are coming in from this side of the map.
Now 53 alive, 17 teams left, the circle getting smaller and smaller and smaller. Oh, Adrian now.
Dan dropping very low now. Going to be able to get into the ridge for cover.
So we do see Archangel right now in the middle of it. Oh, they're going to be running into another Malaysian team. They got to be careful on how they approach this.
Down there by Gigabyte Marines and will be taken out of the game as well. So they're going to be careful when they're driving across terrains like this. There is enemies everywhere. They're going to be picking the compounds very wisely. Gang meanwhile still firing against Lapar Esports.
FTY, DNAX, trying to get those shots in between the trees.
He has an M24 with 6 times scope, 8 times scope. So he is trying to wait for the smoke to clear out and then probably going to go for the quick fire mode on Zen there from Lapar Esports. So Lapar Esports in a very sticky situation once again. They are being sandwiched by a lot of teams from the left, right, center, back, front as well. So gonna be just up. Zen is very near Pocoyo. Pocoyo will probably hear Zen running against towards him. Fires will be taken out. So Zen will go down. Pocoyo takes out Zen from the game.
Goodbye, Zen. It sucks to see a Malaysian versus a Malaysian here. We've seen it for Vietnam against Vietnam many times already. So it seems that Pocoyo came up on top with gaming.
Definitely. So yep,
Lapar, excuse me. Yeah.
Lapar is dropping very low in terms of members team count. Tanawat here trying to give another crate drop here. The MK14 once again. We do see the MK14. Of course, there is a Gilisu. Gilisu not going to be playing out very well compared to Erangel. Don takes out Master Setan. Don pulling back another kill there for Red Sea. Master Setan drops again. I believe this is his second or third knocked out. So he's going to bleed fast and he will be finished off by Don with a headshot.
Wow.
Meanwhile, there are still Malaysian teams fighting over on the other side. On the south side of the map, Chico takes out Papa Zaid, and M0 boys will finish off Chico, and that is the end of Lapar Esports. So
Lapar Esports.
So Lapar Esports is out of game.
Lackluster game number 4. Lackluster game number 4. Game number 3. Excuse me for them. Wish them luck for the next game. However, we still have some other Malaysian teams as well. It's going to be a Philippines versus Thailand affair, and it's going to be Indonesia that strikes first blood onto the ties with a nice little shot by Mikune.
So Honboya just trying to not going to be able to cover fire for his teammate as the teammate will go down, making the way into the shack there. So Myth still looking strong, Archangel still looking very strong now. The Vietnamese teams and the Filipino teams looking very, very strong coming to this tournament.
Right, another M24. Are we going to see some long range shots from Adrian here?
Another one just managed to get the knockout on Nikki with a vehicle there. So he's getting a lot of shots there coming from Archangel. Nikki with a headshot.
And from what I see, there are going to be a lot of deals here for you guys to actually take advantage of.
VP now coming with the bike. Gonna be trying to rendezvous back up with his teammates on the top side of the ridge. Tanawat trying to scope out with the SKS and the 3-time scope. Not gonna be able to spot out anybody as of yet. We still have Gang FTY from Malaysia, Red Sea from Malaysia still surviving there. Oh, the Groza. Groza M24 here by Mew. So very nice weapon choices.
Oh, grenade going out.
It won't hit as this Gigabyte Marines will be taking cover in the compound and the houses here. They do know that these are still. Oh, very nice spray control there by air clear, but he's not going to be able to connect any shots. Coming up from Team RRQ. Dini, meanwhile, from Gang SG, getting that M24 shot of Tanawat. Tanawat, one of the guys that we've seen making a lot of far range shot, losing out to Allen's here from Gang FTY. FTY proving that they have the range shot firepower as well. Tanawat still down. My Brown goes down by an unexpected. Dogs now coming into the fight as well. Gonna be finishing off. Still one guy left from Team Gang.
One guy left for Team Gang with 44 alive, with 16 teams still into play. So we are wondering how long more do we have to go, because there is a big circle there and a lot of open land. Oh, and it seems that Unicorn is now fighting against the Puchinki house.
Goes down with a closer shot there by Mew. Mew taking out DNX. So Gang once again, a little bit of a lackluster performance coming to game number 3. Unicorn still very strong. They are one of the teams that have been performing very well coming to this tournament as well. So the Filipino teams and the Thai teams doing very well. We are waiting for Divine Esports and of course Team Refund from Vietnam to put their names on the board. So Zero Boys goes down. So that is the end of Gang FTY. 14 teams left, 41 alive. We are reaching the 25th minute mark. This is play zone number 4. Aero Roof, Vince Pro will go out of the game as well. So here is where the game gets interesting.
So as we look at it, look at this positioning here. We've got Indonesia, Philippines, Vietnam. Vietnam a little bit fragmented compared to Thai's. Thai guy right in the middle, in between Vietnam and Philippines and Indonesia. If I were you, I do not want to be Vipu. I don't want to be Vipu.
Technically, the geography, for the geography sake is what wise, Thailand is really smack in the middle compared to all these other countries.
of course, yeah. Geography-wise,
So,
it is, yes.
What a cliche, they are still, I mean, in the game as well, they are stuck in the middle, so Thailand's gonna be careful. They will be making a round as the circle will be closing in. This will hurt if they do not go into the zone quickly. Tanawat will have the right to carry his teammates, DMG, into the next phase. Will be passing by a lot of teams here, firepower everywhere. Gotta be careful with as Galuja with the Scar L in the 6th time. Very nice cover there provided by his pickup truck. Archangel meanwhile just rotating around. Gotta be careful, there is a teammate of Divine. Divine is alone there. We do still see a Malaysian flag in the game, so we're gonna see how the Red CC plays this out.
Yeah, like I said beforehand, it's all dependent on where teams are going to be placing themselves. Whoa, when Tam now keeping it up with some really good mid-range plays with that AK.
So kills after kills happening now on the map. Filipino team still looking strong, as well as Goodbye Maurice now. Papa Dad will go down, and that is the end of Red Sea. Red Sea will be out of the game. 13 teams left, 35 alive. Real by Pokesport is also out of the game. So Dogs now, we are looking at Myth. Myth is still stuck in the middle of the circle, very nice positioning. Don still getting the kill, so Don is still alive for Red Sea, excuse me. Red Sea is not out of the game yet. He will get a kill of Raw Gaming now. He is going to try to move into the next play zone where he will probably be able to get Papa Zaid up. So Malaysia still looking pretty good. 2 members still alive in this game.
Yeah, but considering the amount of positioning that they're in right now, it's going to be a bit tough for any of these teams to actually go for it. Like, looking at how...
Don will be under fire here by Given Maurice. Ducktan will take down Don as he runs into him in the smoke there. Popoyo will go down as well, and that is the end of Red Sea. Red Sea will finally be out of the game, finishing off in the 13th place of this Miramar first-person mode. Archangel. So Malaysia team is out, Singapore team is out. It is all down to the Filipinos, the Indonesians, the Thais, and the Vietnamese.
Well, we do see that Vietnam, Thailand, and Philippines right now are some of the names that keep popping up on the kill feed here. We are seeing Tanawat having a bit of a problem here.
Tanawat gonna be in a sticky situation. He has this big tree for cover, but not for long, as we do see teams from the backside will be coming in, as well as the play zone will be closing in about 20 seconds. So Tanawat and his teammate have to be careful, as there is a Filipino team at the backside of them.
Alright, so Tanto now loading up his throwing in some few shots down there. Might be a bit cautious as to where he's shooting at. Might actually reveal his position more than anything else.
Trying to nail out. Trying to provide some cover for DMG. DMG will go down. Nino takes him out with the MK straight to the hit. Oh, nade there. Archangel Spunky gonna be connecting as Exclusia goes down from the nade. Finishes him off to secure the kill points there for Archangel. Archangel again, another few more kills for the team. Taking out Myth, PUBG will be out of the game. So 10 teams left, 23 alive. This is where we do see teams start to make their move, their rotations, fast rotations around. Oh, Sanawa with a very nice control shots there with the SRM treatments and taking out 2 members from
Tanawat!
Giba and Maurice, and Sanawa will go down. That is the end of Team Dogs. Giba and Maurice is also out of the game.
If you realize, right, a lot of these teams right now, they're aiming towards the outside of the circle rather than they're aiming inside. So they want to stop people from who are outside coming in instead of fighting with people inside. Yeah. If you're able to make sure that your 6 is covered and you're not going to have a problem with someone popping up behind you while you go for flanks, then you know what?
Pochinki House, very nice spray there. Takes out Belva. For some reason, he knew that Belva was coming in from that side there, so he's going to be throwing some grenade. He knows Team Unicorns is on the upper side of Pochinki House now. They are in a slight disadvantage as they have the lower ground. Unicorns might be able to spot them out if they are about to pick the corners here to spot Pochinki House. Very nice reach cover there for Pochinki House. He is going to try to move around Luvius now. Going to try to get an angle on this team from Pochinki House.
Uh-oh.
Oh, what a quick scope there, taking out Linux. So Pochinki House will drop 1 member again.
Alright, so we do see that Pochinki's House now keeping it sexy. Oh. Okay, Adrian tries to go for that flick shot, does not hit.
Flick shot, the M24 will not connect. Meanwhile, Neem still holding his corner. He knows that Luvius is there. Will Luvius pick? Oh, okay, definitely down. Unicorns will call for backup. They know that Neem is down there. They will try to rotate around him. He is outnumbered now. Will we see a clutch like we seen in the Southeast Asia, Singapore and Malaysia finals? Will Neem be able to pull it out? Luvius now, definitely. Obviously, Unicorns have the numbers advantage to their play. Zone closing in about 25 seconds now.
All right, so we're almost heading into the 30-minute mark. This is most likely the final part of the game here. So we do have 14 alive, 16 to go. This is the top 10. We're going to see how these teams are going to be doing. We still have Dogs, Archangel, Unicorns, Divine, Refund as well. So these teams are kicking it off to make sure that they are going into it. Look at the amount of kills coming in for the Vietnamese team of Refund. 10 kills.
10 kills there for the Vietnamese team. I do believe the Vietnamese team, they like to go more on aggressive play style. We do see Divine as well going into that. Meanwhile, Refund will be going up against each other. Oh, Archangel will fall short there. Unicorns taking out Archangel. So 3 teams now, 9 alive. This is the last top 10 players alive. Neem will go down eventually. Team Pochinki House is also out of the game. 3 teams left. This is a very good positioning from Unicorns coming out now. They have the reach there. Dogs will come in. Will try to get the fire shot there. Goes down.
Dogs goes down. Dices goes down here. One more member named DMG Dogs Dogs Emperor Dices here. Now looking towards pushing it out. So he's the only one left for Dogs. Refund still has 4 members. Unicorn still has 3. So this is going to be very interesting.
Yep, so it is a 4 against 3 against 1 situation now. Of course, Team Dogs now not looking too good in terms of numbers. Unicorns have the loot advantages from the top side there. They will be coming down. They will have the top of the ridge angle to play as their advantage. Emperors will go down now.
Emperors
2
now.
teams left. 4 against 3. Very nice play there from Unicorns. Good rotations coming in. They
Unicorns got clipped.
Clipped indeed. Iman now will go down. Finishes off the kill. Refund Pino there. It is a 4 against 2 situation now. Unicorns gonna make their way around to the left side. Flanks coming from Refund. Refund's coming in from all sides here. Pushing up against this team here. Unicorns takes out 1. DJ Team drops down.
Wow.
Mew will go in with a grows down. Mew gets the double kill. Unicorns takes out another one.
Oh,
Team goes down.
Mew.
Mew with another kill. Mew with a grows down. Finishes off game number 3 with a chicken dinner there for the Vietnamese team. Refund getting their first chicken dinner of the day.
What is this bracket, Jin?
What is bracket indeed? We do not see teams that gets 2 chicken dinners in a row and all that. So it is very unpredictable.
Wow.
Teams are all playing on the highest stake of their life for the PUBG. In fact, so we're gonna see how other teams perform up to their level.
Wow. Okay, now looking at this, looking at how this has actually been doing for a lot of the teams, excuse me, a lot of the teams, Jin, is the fact that, I mean, first game we got the Philippines to win. The second game we got the Thais to win. The third game now goes over to Vietnam. So sooner or later, I'm pretty sure that Malaysia, Singapore, and Indonesia are going to catch up as well. But I feel that the discrepancy is getting higher and higher. It's just going to make the top 5 brackets a lot more unstable, because I do see that judging from kills, judging from points that have been accrued over the past 3 games, we do see that there's a bit of a trend coming up here whereby the top 3 are always fighting for that top 3 position. I mean, come on, it's a big responsibility for you to represent your country, to go all the way to Berlin, Germany, for the global invitationals for PUBG. So I'm thinking that this is a lot at stake here for a lot of these teams. A lot of these teams are like, we cannot lose this, we don't want to lose this. Whereas other teams that are a little bit more casual about it, like Lapar Gaming, they're just, yeah, we're just here for the fun, we're just here for the experience. Whatever it is, we're just gonna get better at it. So I'm still really excited to see what the Malaysian teams have to offer. But right now, I'm thinking that Philippines, Vietnam, it's torn between Philippines and Thailand, in my opinion.
So 6 rounds of PUBG action for today. We just finished off the third match, which is Miramar FPP. We're going to jump into another Miramar FPP after this, and then 2 more matches of Erangel FPP. So hopefully, we've seen, like you said, the first round was dominated by the Philippines. Second round was the Thais. The third game was the Vietnamese. So 6 countries, 6 rounds. Who knows? Maybe each round we will have a different country on the top of the chicken dinner.
Yeah, you never know. You never know. Hopefully, we'll be able to get all 6 countries to actually get at least one chicken dinner. At least that'll be at least fun, right? So for those of you guys who don't know, who just joined us, this is the PUBG Southeast Asia Championship 2018. We are done with game number 3. We're going to be heading on to game number 4 relatively soon. There are 6 more. There are 6 games in total, so 3 more games to go. Right? So stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. I'm the Hound. This is Jin. We'll be back.